All right, you want me to call it to order? Are you staying out there? No, it's okay. Just tell me if there's something I'm doing protocol city-wise that I need to do. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and call the commission meeting to order. It's 8:00 a.m. Let's do roll call. And do I call me? I'm here. Nicole, pause.
Morning, everyone. I'm here.
Great. Paula Shively.
Here.
Adrian Webb.
Yep, here.
Absent are Joel Gibson and Rob McDonald. All right, moving on to the minutes. Hopefully the committee had a chance to approve the meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 15th, 2024?
Proof.
Adrian moved, second.
Second.
Paula seconded. All those in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, liaison reports. Pardon?
Agenda.
Oh, whoops, I missed the agenda approval. See, I need numbers. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, let me do I have to do public comment too? Oh, dang it. All right. I guess I should just actually follow the order. All right. How do you open public comment here? Do I just say open public comment? Is there any public comment? Sure. Anybody online? We'll give it a couple minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
Do online.
Oh, you don't do it here. Okay, good to know. All right. Thank you for correcting me. All right, we need to approve the agenda. Hopefully the committee had a chance to review the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
All right. And a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? I forgot discussion on the minutes. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, agenda passes, agenda approved. Okay, now I can go to liaison reports, right? All right. Try to keep track of my agenda. Maybe numbering will help me.
Morning, Chair Hudson and the rest of the commission. I'm Rob Watton from the City of Snoqualmie Council, and want to give you 3 quick updates on things that have been working and brewing through this committee where they originated from. The very first one is SR 18. As you know, it's underway. It'll be underway for almost the next 10 years. The governments that participate in the CLTC, that's the Southeast Area Legislative Transportation Coalition, continue to monitor the concerns of safety along SR 18. Since the start of the project, the traffic accidents have increased 87.5%. That information was brought forward by Eastside Police or Fire Chief Ben Lane and transmitted over to Department of Transportation to make sure that it's on their radar as well. So there's ongoing concerns and considerations on how to make it safer for the travelers over that. And given that this is only the first part of a long enduring upgrade that's much needed, that will be an ongoing discussion amongst all the cities. So know that that's top of mind. Our other concern too is that there were 2 fatalities that happened. DOT has only reported 1 publicly, but the second one died in transport to the hospital, and it's very, very much top of mind. On another note, and that is affordable housing has been a top concern of this committee, this commission, and on the 24th of this month, the council will consider doing either an RFQ or an RFP, that's request for a quote or request for proposal on what we are calling 9033, parcel 9033. It happens to be below Habitat for Humanity. It's about 1 acre of buildable land. And so on the 24th, it'll be a roundtable discussion starting at 6 o'clock with the council. The public is welcome to attend, but we won't be taking any public comment during that period of time. So stay tuned for that. And then the third one relates to the Snoqualmie Valley Economic Alliance. And that is also an initiative that started here. We launched the Snow Valley Innovation Center, and we're kind of the 501c3 that's moving the items forward and working with the Department of Commerce and a number of grant writers in a frenzy of grant writing. And so those grants that we're submitting for, one is the design of a redeveloped railroad park. The second one is a revolving fund that would be basically the 5th revolving fund for small businesses to make sure that they've got access to capital. Along with that would be a whole plethora of support for small businesses, specifically for Snoqualmie Valley. And there's a number of other grants that we're being assisted in submitting. And our grant writing timeline runs out the end of this month, but hopefully we will be able to continue the help of the 5 or 6 grant writers that we've been given through the Department of Commerce. That's it, pretty much. Any other questions?
I have a question. So were the grant writers able to submit for grants, or were they just preparing you for future grants?
They work alongside basically me
Okay,
in writing the grants, helping us write the grants. We actually do the submission of the grant.
got it.
But yeah, they've been very instrumental. They have been the ones identifying the opportunities. We've got one that we've have submitted to the USDA, and that one is for about 100,000 with a $25,000 match coming through the Port of Seattle and the Snow Valley Chamber of Commerce. The others do not require matches, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see how those go. Those are quite sizable too. So there's a potential of hiring 3 full-time people to help implement the plan and the creation of a revolving fund that would be through the SBA of $750,000 available to local businesses. So
Then that would be a revolving loan fund, right? Yeah.
yeah, so it would
And you,
be
you
in
get, the SBEA would be managing it, is that right?
it would be through we're working out the details
Yeah.
because we're not a lender, but yes, it's I'm in talks this week with some potential partners to
Like
help us.
CDFIs and.
It's a very fast uplift to
Yeah.
get there, and so we'll see how those grants play out and what happens in the next few months.
It's great news.
Thank you very much. Anything
Any
else?
other questions? Nicole, did you have any questions?
No, sounds great.
All right,
Good to see you, Nicole.
Good to see you too.
All right.
thank you.
much.
Good news. Thanks. Are there any other liaison reports, or is there one? How does it work? Okay, good. All right. Okay, moving on to special orders. Any special orders of the day? All right, no special orders. Moving on to old business. No old business? All right, moving on to new business. Any new business? It's gonna be the fastest meeting ever. I'm just kidding. Items of commissioner interest. So is this where we go around and talk? All right. All right, so I don't know if have we done this before? Have you done this before? Okay, this is a new item on the agenda. And think we have a lot of experience here in a lot of different areas, and it'd be interesting to see in the economic development world, which is also kind of a complicated term because it kind of loops in everything. But what's your area of interest, and why are you here, and what would you like to see done? So you want me to start with you? You want me to start?
Sure.
Okay, I'll start and then I'll pass the baton, and it doesn't have to be complicated, really. Or maybe the question should be more simple. What gets you excited about the possibilities here? I love Snoqualmie, so I've lived here since 2017. So maybe not nearly as long as some of you. But there's something special about the community, and we want to make sure that we keep it healthy and strong and resilient. And I think small businesses are a big part of that, making sure that they have good foot traffic. So I think for me, what's exciting is potentially the new that is it the old mill site? Like, what could potentially happen down there? How do you frame it up to be the best it can be for our local businesses and our residents, as well as be a tourism draw? And I think tourism in general, figuring out how we work with our partners to draw more foot traffic to our small businesses. That kind of gets me excited about things. Do you have anything?
Very similar. I mean, same kinds of things.
It's okay.
I feel sort of unsure because I feel like we need to do more or say more or be more in terms of what we're supposed to do. Yes, the old mill site, I'm very interested in that. I'm very interested in Snoqualmie and more traffic, and not more traffic,
Or foot traffic.
more foot traffic, more spenders, I guess, to keep the businesses in full vital mode. But I'm just anxious to kind of be a part of having the conversation, but I am looking for the conversation.
Yep. This is government moves really slow. Sorry, no offense. That's good input.
Yeah, for me, I think same thing as I said first time I was here, is just kind of joining the ridge with Snoqualmie downtown as well. So kind of one Snoqualmie is a big initiative that I see is important, just because it seems so adversarial for some reason. Again, I was only here since 2017, so I don't know the full inner workings of how all that became, but it definitely is a thing that we see pretty frequently in our line of business with everything. And then I think just capturing, like you mentioned too, some of the tourism. I heard a stat, and I don't know how accurate it is, that 2 million people go to the falls every year, and we capture, at least our business captures probably, well, I can't even, it's not even registering in what we would see. So figuring out kind of how to leverage, this amazing attraction that we have in the area. And then also, just being better about, driving that traffic to some of those businesses, even as simple as like signage that we have access to in our little spot. It's very limited and seems to be a pretty heavy lift to get anything different as far as what we've seen. So stuff like that is kind of my main focus.
Okay, Nicole.
And for me, I I grew up as a small business owner's daughter and granddaughter and niece. And so I see, pardon me, I see how hard they work to be successful and to feed their families and to also offer things to the community, because they get asked all the time. And so that's something that I really want to help support and build up. And then also from the hospital standpoint, we have a lot of people who come to work here but can't live in the community. And so I think affordable housing is really important. And it's also really important for those different social determinants of health, like housing, safety, food, shelter, water are really important just for general public health. So those are some of the things that get me excited.
All right, thank you for, and I know Emily just left. I think we were thinking that we want to make sure that we are capturing all your thoughts. So what I hear from you. We're not moving fast enough. There's things that we could potentially do. And I agree with you. I think there's a lot of folks here on this commission that have different backgrounds. But at the end of the day, economic development is about relationships, so how do we build relationships with the community to get things done? I think that's something we can talk about. When you're talking about tourism and signage, I know I did speak with Joelle the other week, and signage was really important to be able to draw potential customers to the business. When you're talking about the falls, yeah, you're right, it is 2 million. I'm pretty sure it is. And I'll tell you, like the city of Bellevue, they have they market the falls to their hotels. So is there opportunities to really expand our partnerships? Again, build relationships. And is that a role for the committee? I don't know. Is that a role? Like how can we help the city build those relationships to be able to drive more traffic to our businesses? So Emily, we're just talking about signage, just so you know that came up. All right.
One of the,
Yeah,
just an
Yep.
added, one of the issues that we run into at Snow King is that our demographic is from all over the Puget Sound. I mean, we draw from everywhere, but people are afraid to come to Snoqualmie. They feel like it's so far. I think when they hear Snoqualmie, they think the past, and they don't want to do that. So there's got to be a way to get the word out that we're not that far. It's actually easier to get to Snoqualmie from Seattle than to get to Renton.
Sure.
So marketing tagline, some kind of branding that indicates that we're not so far away. Yeah. Yeah. Like that. That could be tourism, local tourism.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah. I see you wanting to.
No, I'm curious. I'm just looking at the agenda, but I'm curious. We had talked about the roundtables with businesses. Are we doing anything with that? What's the next step on that?
And I think that's the next
Is that in the upcoming?
upcoming schedule, right?
Oh, discussion. I see it.
Yeah,
now.
we're
Okay, I
putting
missed
discussion.
that.
Yeah.
It could be, Emily Arteche, Community Development Director. It could be, if you'd like to allocate your time that way. This meeting was primarily intended to take a look at the work program and prioritize it. Are the work program items that we've listed still relevant? We could be flexible any which way you want. So
All right.
if you do
Well, I
want
say
to,
we move right into that.
if you do want to move right into that,
Yep.
that would be maybe the next, appropriate step.
Sure.
We do have a roundtable scheduled for July. It'll be a different format. It'll be new. This is not something that we've done before. Again, just to refresh your memory, we're revamping a project that was in place for several years, but not really activated for several years, to go out and visit these businesses that are in Snoqualmie to find out who they are, what their needs are, and how we could help them. And we're going to start with the business park in July and recruit up to 5, maybe 7, if we could get that many representatives to come. We have a series of questions that we'd like to ask. It will not be recorded, but we will be taking some general minutes to help keep up with our procedures here at the EDC in City of Snoqualmie. And we hope to get some really good relevant information that will help gear and steer you on your work program, including possibility of annexation of an area if that is a need, which we think is a need. So
Is there a date on that yet?
it is your existing meeting,
It's the
on
existing
the
meeting, okay.
third Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And I'm not sure if we've actually sent out any invitations. I need to check in with staff to see how that's going, but our idea was to send out the questions in advance, provide opportunities for business owners to, if they couldn't attend, reply with information back to us. Encourage them to come as an opportunity to meet us and find out who we are and give us an opportunity to learn about them.
And how many are we going to have on the roundtables? Is it 4?
How many businesses?
No, how many roundtables in general? How many were there?
So we're anticipating, looking at Nicole, we're anticipating the business park is one, and then the Ridge and Kimball Creek, Kimball business owners is 2. She's coming up.
Okay.
I believe what we've talked about internally is to start with the business park. We've identified about 8 to 10 businesses that meet that criteria. So we will be reaching out to them in the next week or so to invite them to that meeting. Then the Ridge businesses, and then the downtown, and then the Kimball Creek are the businesses that are located on Better Way. It's a smaller sample. So I think we can determine, like, it's kind of unfortunate or sad that they're kind of where they're at because they don't qualify for the historic downtown and then on the Ridge, but they have a voice and we'd like to hear from them. So we'll probably include, we will include them. I'm just not sure if it's the Ridge or the downtown groups.
Oh, got it. So they may not have their own meeting. They might be in one of the 2 other meetings.
I think
Okay.
that's the best
Okay.
thing for efficiency and use of business owners' time and staff time as well.
Oh, very good. Okay.
I just wanted to just make a brief comment to wayfinding is a project that we are currently working on internally in the city. This department, we've identified, and when I talk about the wayfinding, it's the signs that are the green with the turquoise blades. And so we've determined what those need to be. And now it's in Parks and Public Works in the street department, and they'll be getting a quote for a vendor. So our goal is to finish that project sometime this year. So it is woefully behind, but we are pushing it forward. Mhm.
And it would stay with the same design that we have, the same.
The
look,
same
right?
design. Mhm.
Okay.
And then just being real strategic about it had been a while. So it just needed to be revamped, and like one sign needs to be, there's like kind of sign clutter in one area. So we're moving it to another area, one to another section on the parkway that needs some identification. So yeah, it's a work in progress.
Very good. Do I kind of ask a question because it's wayfinding, but not within the city, city limits? Signs that are out on the freeways, to bring people in. Is that something cities do, or is that something private business?
That's something
sector
that
do?
private businesses do, and there is a criteria level. I believe, well, the businesses have to contact WashDOT themselves. Adrian, I don't know if you've talked about
Yeah,
this.
we're doing that right
I don't,
now. Actually, we're speaking to them, and it's certain hours you have to have, and you submit a.
and like you have to submit, like, you have to,
Okay.
like serve 2 meals, or if you're a restaurant, I think you have to be open for 2 meals. I don't know if you pay for it, but that is, that is on the businesses to do that, to work with WashDOT. It has been quite a conversation in this community for several years with some of the businesses, but yeah, the onus is on them, as I understand it.
Yep.
Would you agree with that,
Yep.
Adrian? Okay.
Mhm.
So, LTAC dollars, sorry, I'm going kind of into tourism. Can those be spent on signage stuff, or is that to try to drive? Because that's for local traffic. Those got to be overnight stays, right?
The LTAC funding historically in this community, all of the applicants, including city applicants, has not been used for wayfinding. It's been used for marketing or events or different things, not signage. An opportunity in the past that's no longer relevant is the Port of Seattle, but they have put limits on, or they've just said, no applications regarding wayfinding.
Okay.
So
Are those the economic development dollars that they?
yeah,
Yeah.
the different grants. Currently the grant that we've got this year that I've applied for is going, and it's currently in process. We're working to create a very robust, enhanced tourism website. So there'll be a website essentially within a website. It'll be branded Visit Snoqualmie. And so I used some Port of Seattle grant funding for that, as well as matching funds, and that we will have that finished this fall. Things take longer than what you want. I wanted to be able to get it live in August, but it's looking more like September, but we'll be able to get a couple of months of data. And then next year, of course, will be a full tourism season of data to be able to have that website up and running.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
That's really good to hear.
Can somebody tell me what LTEC
Oh,
money is?
So LTAC is, it stands for Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. And it's for any city in the state. So for us, for historically, it was one hotel, the Salish, then we had two hotels, the Salish and the Snoqualmie, and we are now back to one hotel, Snoqualmie Inn. But a certain percentage of every room night that is booked, a tax is collected that goes back to the city coffers. And there's a committee and they determine, and then applicants can apply for that funding, but that funding has to stay in the city, has to be activated within the city limits. So it's collected in the city, used in the city, and hopefully activates the city in a tourism capacity. So,
Okay.
so just tying in one of your comments about people thinking Snoqualmie is so far away, do you all count local tourists still? Like anybody that's, or does it have to be? I know I keep going to the overnight stays because I think that is a requirement for LTAC, but.
well, LTAC is interesting because in some communities in the state, there is a robust hotel, market, I guess you would say. And in other cities, there might not be hotels or a lot of room nights. So there's two ways of looking at it. It's heads and beds is the common term, or it can be just local dollars coming in, visitors coming in and spending money here. So there is guidelines and requirements, but there's also a little bit of leeway in how you can use that funding.
So as the word getting a new website, I don't like just put a little like pin in it or be in the bonnet, but some kind of messaging around Snoqualmie not being so far away, you might already have that in there, but starting to get that message out in any vehicle we can, whether that's social media around tourism or,
Yeah.
because I know that marketing is also really expensive too, but anyway, be interesting to see if we could weave that message in. That might be an easy win and hopefully wake up some local people like, maybe I'll go to Saints and Scholars in Snoqualmie because I live in Bellevue and that'll be like an adventure or something, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're also doing some messaging that I've done for a few years now, but kind of doubling down on it. And it's that, Snoqualmie in any season, we have something for you in any season. And so we're not just the summer, we're not just the winter. So trying to double down on that. And I agree with you. There tends to be this thing that we're so far away, but I believe that we are no different here than Bellevue, Issaquah, Redmond, particularly with also our residents. Our demographics are very comparable to those other East Side cities. A lot of people have chosen to live here, maybe because it was a little bit more affordable or just a little bit more distance. We have that small town vibe, but yet we're only, 10, 15, 20 minutes away from
Yeah.
other things in other cities.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. So I think we went to the Snoqualmie wayfinding signage section. And then there's the marketing rebranding identity, which then also may fall into the same conversation.
I'm just going to share my screen here.
Oh, yay.
Which one do you want to?
Oh, the
on?
second one, we kind of went from business visitation to wayfinding. And the marketing rebranding identity, I know it says TBD.
Yeah, this is something that was started by the former employees, former community development director a few years ago. So a great effort was put forward with focus groups and gathering information from the community about the identity of Snoqualmie. I did see that information. I shared it with the EDC as you came on board at the beginning of the year. I think it's up for discussion about what we would want to do with that. Do we want to pursue that information? There's lots of components to marketing and rebranding. There's a huge effort going on right now, for example, at the Chamber of Commerce. And I believe they were awarded a large visioning type grant from the Washington Department of Commerce Tourism that Snoqualmie might be participating in. And I haven't checked in with the Chamber of Commerce about any of that, but marketing and branding is kind of a holistic approach, and there is a better result when it is broad and inclusive. So we have
Is
our
it-
feet kind of in, we've got options.
So that question, because I don't, and apologies, I don't recall exactly what it is, but is it an identity for the community to then use as promotion, right? For tourism? Or is it for, as a place to do business, or both? I forget,
Yeah, it's very,
so
it's
thank
very
you.
broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it includes the work on the website. It brings in tourists. It could be redoing the logo. It could be a slogan like, we're not far away, or, visit Snoqualmie, or I'm not sure what the slogan would be. But all of that is building up a brand that revolves around this city or this valley, on how to bring in tourism. And then there's other components to tourism about destination planning and repeat visitors, and all kinds of things that get into paid advertisement.
Tourism is a lot of work, definitely.
Mhm.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments on the marketing, rebranding, identity?
And again, I'd like to kind of do a head check with the commission. Are these things that we'd like to just keep on the work program so we don't lose track of them? We don't exactly have a timeline for all of these, but we could activate them, at any given moment, or take them off.
Seems like they're all ongoing discussions.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't even know a timeline. It's constant, right? For most of these.
And then I think having some sort of work plan. I know you guys all don't have very much time, but figuring out what you want to accomplish is what you're thinking, right? Like, okay, so for wayfinding signage, I mean, I also feel like these kind of go hand in hand. We've got marketing is wayfinding signage. And figuring out that common theme through website, the new Visit Snoqualmie website, your signage. I mean, there could be some low hanging fruit that could accomplish some things.
When we say work program items, I'm still a little vague on, is it the Economic Council's job to do the work on these things, or is it our job to send it to the council? I mean, I'm sort of still lost.
All right, can you explain the role of the commission and what?
The
you'd
Economic
like-
Development Commission makes recommendations to the council. When you see work program items, it's not completely all the work associated with the EDC. We do have staff, myself and other members in the community development department.
So when most of these items here are about discussing and deciding what we want the city to focus on,
Yeah,
I don't mean to be so
No,
dense about it,
It's
but
perfect questions and there's no dumb question, as they say. So
these are items that staff has listed out as we've gathered up what seems to be the most important items for the city of Snoqualmie that this commission could work on.
okay. I mean, to me, they all look important. I don't think I'd take anything off the list.
So if we ranked them, just from hearing what you all were talking about, I'm thinking like the marketing tourism stuff's gonna fall toward the top. Nicole, I know you were talking about affordable housing, safety and food and shelter. Which, yeah, that's a part of having a viable community. And that's not really on here, but it's that would be more like health and human services, right? Outside of affordable housing, that touches everybody.
Right. question for you about the potential rebranding of the identity. What is that looking like for you want to rebrand the entire city? Have they began that work? Are there like little work groups that some of us could be part of, or is this potentially kicking off this year?
I think that's, Emily was talking about how it was a project of a former employee, a former staff.
Oh, okay.
And the question was, what do we do with that information? And,
I don't
I
really
don't know,
see-
maybe
I
we
don't-
take a look at it. Maybe
Yeah.
we look at what they came up with.
Yeah, I mean, we could revisit the information that's been provided. It was included back in January, but I could recirculate it again. So there were quite a few focus groups and surveys that were conducted.
Mhm.
Information was processed and put together and
Was
synthesized.
this last January?
No, I sent it to the EDC.
Oh, in January.
yeah,
Okay,
in
got it.
January. The information is dated for, at least 3 years old now.
Oh, okay.
So there is a pending question about whether it's still valid,
Mm.
if we could pick it up and run with it. There's a financial component. So
Mhm.
staff honestly would like to continue to pursue the roundtables and business visitation
Mhm.
information in order to move forward with an annexation strategy study this year as the major work items.
Yeah,
That
but
would
that's
be.
a kind of a long-term play,
Yeah,
right?
and when you look at the number of meetings left for this group, the majority of them would be consumed by just the roundtable meetings. So there's not a lot of business time in between that and the rest of the year. And December is probably going to be a meeting where you're not going to have it. And then we may need to take a summer break. I believe there was a schedule pushed out in the last packet about whether or not you want to take a summer break in August or continue working. So that just leaves July and September, and October and November.
And I guess that's kind of what I was getting at, is that this looks like a very, very aggressive plan for the year.
Yeah.
Knowing how much time we have left, and if there's some things that can come off of here, or if we can move them into different quarters of next year, that might be more appropriate. But
Yeah, we could start putting things down under the 2025.
yeah, that might be good. And then I was thinking, if the city's not working on rebranding their identity, that should probably come off of this list entirely
Yeah,
until that's an active
Well,
project.
there is a new website coming out though, right? Visit Snoqualmie. That is a branding opportunity. Yeah, I mean, like there's so annexation, yep, totally get it. That's a long-term play. Need to keep the eye on the prize, but there could be some low-hanging fruit
Mhm.
that can play into what staff recommends, for the marketing rebranding identity. There's opportunity there to do something
Mhm.
sooner
And
than
I-
later
and I'd
if there
like-
is a Visit Snoqualmie, which I think is a
Yeah,
fantastic idea.
well, go ahead.
Go ahead. I think those roundtables are going to help determine what's coming off this list.
Mhm.
I mean, hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully there's feedback that says what the businesses feel is something important for us to work on.
Yep.
And I guess I keep going back to the rebranding. It's very close to my heart right now, working on rebranding the hospital district. We've got a new logo, new colors. It's touching everything. So if this is just more focused on a new website, maybe making that just a bit more clear might help focus the group a bit, because we're not overhauling the city's entire identity.
Mhm. So staff did put together a memo, and I think we just validated your memo and taking those top three, business visitations, marketing, rebranding, identity, and wayfinding as being the priorities. And then, yes, listening to the businesses and figuring out how that feedback plays a part into these priorities.
I just wondered if we wanted to recirculate on marketing and rebranding as a future work program item for 2025. Unless you were just referring to the work the city's already doing on Visit Snoqualmie, the website.
I think if when's the launch of the Visit Snoqualmie website? Sorry to bring you up, but should ask that.
She said September.
You probably said it and I missed it.
We're in the branding right now, logo, all of that. we'll be meeting, so it's twofold. It's getting the branding and the icons and the artwork, and we're probably about 80% through with that. And then it moves to the website platform, which is Civic Plus, which is our website platform. And we will be meeting with them this month, and then they'll do their work. They'll take everything we give them, they'll do their work. And we're hopeful that maybe by the end of August, we're meeting at the beginning of August to kind of see what they put together with what we give them. Much of the information is already there. So fortunately, we're not having to create too much of the wheel. We're able to transfer current information on the website onto that platform. But so fingers crossed, end of August.
So that's coming really soon.
It's, yeah.
Do you
it's
have is the LTAC committee overseeing that, or is city doing it on their own, or do
the
you have a
internal
tourism
city
committee?
project with myself and the communications
Oh, very
staff
good.
person. That the team of 3 has gone recently down to 2, just the 2 of us. So we're
Well, thank you for all your
We're
hard
staying
work
in
on
the-
that.
in
I
the
think
driver's
it's
seat on
going to be
that.
really exciting,
yeah, it'll be great.
and an opportunity to, once you have that, it could even, I know kiosks were down on the list, but I know that's what, sorry, I know tourism in Bellevue and Redmond, and they put iPads in different businesses and put their website up, so they don't have to have like a complicated kiosk. It's really just their website. And if we have something that could be.
The
something that
Chamber
could
of
be leveraged.
Commerce has their app, which is there's some good traction on that. And the city, the chamber has applied for LTAC funding in the past to support that app. With the reduction of LTAC funding that's going to be available moving forward, you know, we're all trying to figure out.
Well, I'm not saying to do kiosks,
No,
but
I-
like down in the
Yeah,
future, right?
I would say in this community, that's kind of been the avenue
Mhm.
that we've been able to allow for the tech feature is the app rather than the iPads.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, very good. Thank you.
Great. Well, great. That sounds like it is underway, the website, the development, and lots of the components associated with the work that was going on before is moving forward. So
I love it. I don't think, do we have anything else to discuss for work program discussion? Looking at the list, does anybody want to bring anything else forward? You don't need a motion for priorities, do you? Okay, all
no, really,
right. I think are we done? Anything else, Emily? Am I
I
missing
was just going to
anything?
mention, so next month we will have the first roundtable. We do have a speaker coming that will hopefully be very interesting to the business park owners from the Small Business Association, talking about grants that could be used for manufacturing and the kind of things that would be more closely aligned with Snoqualmie Business Park. So that could be a 15-minute, entry before we begin our official, questioning and discussion, informal discussion.
It's good. I like it. Yeah. Yes, good. Yeah, do I need to say anything? Yes, please go.
Thank you. I was just reviewing the questions from the 2017 survey that was done. And I was part of that. I was part of 2 different visitation rounds for the EDC. One of the things that I thought would be helpful, which I'm very encouraged of you doing this, having a roundtable, because it's one thing, these interview questions, we sat down with each of the business owners or managers, general managers, one-on-one. But I think the interaction of having 3, 4, 5, 6 people share their perspectives is very insightful. I'd also kind of give a little bit of caution, just because the questions were largely developed by a single member from the EDC, if my recollection is correct. I don't think those were necessarily written by staff. And it would be kind of interesting, I think, between now and the roundtable, and I'd encourage you, if there's 2 or 3 of you would like to sit down and go over those questions with Director Arteche or separately and then pass those on. I think that would be really good because as I'm reading through it, I remember when I went out to do the interviews, I may have phrased my questions differently. So just keep that in mind. I think we can get to the same endpoint, but you know, some of the questions are really good. I mean, are you getting all the services from the city? And is this where you intend to stay? I think you can say it in that way rather than saying, are you, you know, if you read through those questions, it kind of reads differently than what the way you would like to have them phrased. So I would just encourage you to go back and take another look. I think,
I think we all had them at the last meeting or a meeting before. Emily, I believe we had the questions out before. Yeah.
okay, you have simplified them. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I know that there were about 12 and that's going to take far longer than what it would. So, okay, excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And who knows, we might discover something that we don't know is a issue or something. So
Hopefully it's more of a ongoing developing discussion rather than just answers to the questions.
yeah, I think the questions are very open-ended. Because a lot of small businesses also probably, I think in the old version, there was like, what can the city do to help you? But they don't understand what the city can do and what the city
They don't
can't
know what
do.
that
You know
is.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
then you get in that conversation of, oh, we want this. Oh, well, we can't do that. You know, and you don't want to get into that type of conversation. But I think it's really an information gathering, information sharing opportunity. And I think you're right. It should be this is like the beginning of an ongoing conversation. And I'm really glad that we're having it here in City Hall because I think that helps create, again, that relationship between City Hall and small businesses and hopefully the comfort of sharing information because we want to make sure that they stay here and not leave, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what is that? Oh, do I need to? Oh, got it. Oh, sorry. I had my I can't have to take off my glasses to see that over there. So. All right. Thank you for sharing those.
I just saw an email from Chair Hudson yesterday, simplifying the questions a little bit more. So we're probably down to closer to 5 now. Is that correct?
Oh, did I send you? That was from a long time ago?
Oh, just from yesterday or the day before? I'm not sure. Maybe I
Okay.
need to look at it, but okay.
I don't think I sent you any. I've been hacked. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Well, let me know. I'm here to help in however I can. So if there's something that you have a question, please reach out to me. All right. I think we're at adjournment. Can that be? Oh my goodness, fastest meeting ever. All right. I don't need to move, so I guess meeting adjourned. I know, it's like-
Hi, everyone.